this is Mrs. Mercer here to teach your Sunday Reading Level 29, Day 2 lesson for today. We're going to go through and read the sounds that we see on the screen. Remember to say the two sounds, the short and the long sound for each vowel, and for any letters or sounds that we have two sounds for. I'm sorry, that's kind of confusing. As in, we just learned yesterday, we have O, ow for OW. So I'll try to remind you, prompt you for both sounds. So let's get going. And remember, if they make an error, you'll just say, this is the letter R, which says R, as in rabbit. You'll say the keyword, show them the keyword slide, and then you'll have them trace the R 3 times. R, R, R. Now, of course, that goes for whatever sound that they missed. Okay, so remember, we just learned this one, and I put 2 pictures in here to prompt us. So the most common sound is O, and then the second most common is ow. So when you see this card, if we do it in person, the teacher would tap it and you would go, oh, ow. Okay, so let's do this one. And remember, if you need any more time on any of the cards, just pause the video. Short and the long sound. Short and the long sound. The short and the long sound. Short and the long sound. Short and the long sound. Okay, so now we are on the spell sound section of our lesson. And I did not get this quite pulled up, so I'm going to give you the first sound. Remember, repeat, and then write. Okay? Repeat the sound, then write the sound. Next sound, ooh. Next sound, shh. Next sound, R. Remember, repeat, then write. And if you need more time, as always, pause. Ch. Ank. And ft. So hard to say that in isolation. Remember, if you see an error, you would say, I see F. This is just an example, D. What letter makes the D sound? And hopefully they would give you the answer. If you don't have D, Please cross out what you have and write it correctly. Then everybody write it 2 more times for extra practice. So that's just a sample of how you do the error correction. So if you see your child or student doing that, you want to prompt them to make their own corrections. Okay, so now I want you to take a minute and read these words in this section here. Let's move myself somewhere where I'm not in the way. Okay. So pause the video and then make sure you're reading. Put your finger underneath each word and make sure you say the whole word after sounding out. Pause the video and do that now. Okay. All right, so we're going to review finger spelling. Okay, remember if you're right-handed, your pen will be in your right hand and you will finger spell with your left, starting with your pinky finger, tap the desk. If you're left-handed, you'll start with your thumb, following the left to right sequence of words in our language. Okay, so now I'm going to dictate the following words to you. You will repeat the word, touch spell it, then write it. You will need to pause the video probably after every word. You should be writing these in this spell word section right here. Pride. Repeat, touch spell, then write. Spoon. While. Faint. Duct. Duct. Limp. Here's a sight word. They. Drain. Lake. Grown. Snapshot. And drink. Give yourself enough time to write those words and check over them. And now we're going to take a quick look. Is this what you have written for your words? Are they spelled like this? If you made an error, cross it out and write your word correctly. When you are finished making your error corrections, read the words that you've just written out loud. Pause the video to give yourself time to do this. Okay, now we're on to the spell words, phrases, and sentences section. I will read a sentence. You will repeat the sentence. You will tap out one word per finger, and then you will write the sentence. You will need to pause the video after each sentence to give yourself enough time to do this. The first sentence is, the wet dog ran from the bathroom. You'll repeat it, tap it out, and write it. You'll need to pause the video to write. Next sentence. Sunshine will help the grass grow green. Repeat it, tap it out, and write it. Pause the video to give yourself time to write each of these sentences. Okay. Now, make sure you check for capitalization, accuracy, punctuation, and spelling. If you notice any errors, correct them now. Check your sentences. Do your sentences look like this? If you made an error, cross out where your error is, and write it correctly. Pause the video to do that now. Okay. Now I want you to read these sentences out loud. Pause the video to read these sentences. Okay, now we're on to our new learning. So, earlier, yesterday, we learned that, can't remember which one it was, that sometimes letters or groups of letters make more than one sound. It's confusing, right? Well, we're going to learn another one today. So, we know that OO can say oo as in moon, but it also can say as in book. It's kind of hard to say. So I want you to say with me while you're tracing, So you're going to trace OO, and you're going to go 3 times. Okay. And from now on, when you see this O sound, you're going to say, okay, we know that it makes the oo as in moon, and now we know it says as in book. Well, not but as in book. So when you see this, you're going to go oo, I know, very confusing, right? But So oo, when you see this, and we're going to have to practice it because even I have a hard time with it. Okay, so now I want you to write it 3 times in the introduce new materials section while saying it. Okay, remember this is book. So I want you to write okay, so that you get practice saying the second most common sound. So when you come up to a double O in a word and you're not sure how to say it, your first choice will say oo as in moon, and then if that doesn't sound right, then you're going to try as in book. Okay, so it gives you a couple of options. Now we're going to, we're fine. Yes. So now I want you to pause the video and I want you to practice reading words that have this sound in them. Okay. So pause the video and practice words with the sound. Okay. Now we're going to practice spelling words with the sound. Okay. Remember, I'm going to say the word, you'll repeat the word, touch spell it, then write it. First word, book. And remember, you will go because 2 letters make the sound. Okay. Next word, stood. Stood. Repeat, touch spell, write. Would. You will probably need to pause. Would. Look. Look. Cook. Good. Good. Foot. And shook. Shook. Pause the video between words to give yourself enough time. Now take a minute and check your words. Have you spelled them correctly? Okay. Let's take a look. Is this what you have written? If you made an error, cross it out and write it correctly. Then after you've made your corrections, read the words that were just written out loud. Okay, and now we're to the read aloud section of our lesson for today. So we're going to use a decodable that focuses on the ARR sound. Here are a list of words for you to read. All of these words I've noticed looks like they sound out correctly, so there shouldn't be any words that give you any problems. So pause the video on each slide to read it out loud. So pause. Pause on this page and read it out loud. I'm kind of in the way here. Pause on this page to read it out loud. No good place for me to go. Pause on this page to read this out loud. There are several pages on the read aloud this week. We'll use it a couple of times to help build our fluency. Yeah, I'm in the way of all the words today. There we go. Pause on this. I did notice down here it got cut off and it says, "Moo went old Martha." Pause to read these pages. Pause to read these pages, and don't forget to read the words and the illustrations. Pause to read these pages. I'm in the way again. Let's see if I can get over here. Pause to read these pages. Pause to read these pages. Pause to read these pages. I think I'm in the way of some words up there. Pause to read these pages. And that is the end of our Sunday lesson, level 29, day 2 for today. Thank you, and have a great day.